So today I thought we would review staging of soybeans, especially during the reproductive stages. There are 8 reproductive stages on soybeans. 1 and 2 involve beginning and end flowering. 3 and 4 are the beginning and ending of podding. 5 and 6, the beginning and ending of seed. And 7 and 8 are the maturity range, the beginning and end of maturity. So I'm going to focus today on talking about the R3 to R4 growth stage and mention a little bit about R5. But I'm going to talk in particular about some of the things we can do in a field this time of year, such as doing a tissue sample and sending off to the lab to get nutritional status of a field. So the first thing we got to do is, during the reproductive stages, we are concerned with the main stem only, and we want to count the 4 uppermost nodes that have a fully developed trifoliate leaf, and that's where we start doing our counts on our soybeans. So if you look at this top leaf, it's not very big, so that's not developed. I could even debate that that one's fully developed, but when you start to get to the 3rd or 4th leaf, it's fully expanded. So from that node, we count down 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So if there's a pod anywhere in those 4 nodes that's at least 1/4 inch long, or about 5 millimeters, that is what we call R3, or beginning of podding. If there's a pod that's 3/4 of an inch long or 2 centimeters long, then that's R4. So what's significant about that is that nutrient uptake peaks during these 2 growth stages between R3 and R4. About 2/3 of the total nutrient uptake for the season occurs during this growth stage. And it's not unusual to have peak activity occur where we're seeing upwards of 4 pounds of N, 0.8 pounds of P2O5, and 3 pounds of K2O per acre per day being taken up by the plant. So that's pretty significant to understand that, because it's really a very important aspect of generating yield, and you want to be able to have a good nutrient profile, have your soil test current, make sure you've got an adequate supply of essential nutrients before this growth stage, because it can be quite yield limiting if you're short. So the other growth stage you want to talk about is, once you're past R4, what you're looking for in those bigger pods is seeing if there's a bean that's at least 1/8 of an inch wide, or roughly 3 millimeters wide. That's the beginning of R5, the beginning of seed fill. So what's significant about there is nutrients are starting to leave the leaves. So about 50% of the nutrients that are going to end up in a soybean are going to be remobilized from the nutrients that are already taken up. So if you're doing a tissue sample on the leaves, you're already starting to decrease the nutrient content as you start to fill beans. So it's important that your plant tissue collection occurs before R5 to get a true indication of the nutrient status of the plant. So what you want to do is collect that most recently mature leaf, which is usually the one we start counting from, and you simply want to snap off the top 3 leaves. We don't need the petioles. Whoops, I dropped that. You want to collect at least 75 to 90 samples, or leaf samples. Make sure you're sending enough material to the lab so they can do a good analysis. So there you have it. That's how we stage during the reproductive stages, the 4 uppermost nodes, and it's pretty critical for collecting the right samples to send to the lab and understanding just what's going on in the soybean plant this time of year.